extensively for farming this flat country. Well over 100 steam engines.
So this year I'll be doing it on my own. Well, with the Willy assistance of Fran here. We have Dad's chair next to me that he used to sit in, so it's a little bit emotional to see, but we'll get through it anyway nonetheless. So what we have for you is a large select scale model. There is smaller, but this is about as small as you can get. It's a 2-inch Clayton undertype steam wagon. Undertype meaning the motion work is all underneath the chassis with a vertical boiler. This is owned and driven by Gavin Edwards. Gavin has been coming to this show pretty much since it started as a child with his parents with their engines, and has eventually now turned up at the rally with his own engine with his own family. So a long time rally visitor, really good. In contrast, this is a 4-inch scale Burrell double crank compound road locomotive. This is actually built from a kit made by a company called Steam Traction Wells, who've recently gone under, but made a lot of kits over the years and produced a lot of models on the field. This particular one was built by Mark Harris from Cambridge, a regular rally visitor, and nice to see a Burrell here because the full-size prototype was only made down the road in Thetford. So nice to have a few model Burrells here on their home turf. The road locomotive would have been used for road haulage. Following him, the first of our steam lorries, well, first of our Foster, no, hang on, this is the wrong bit of paper. That's the one. This is a 4.5-inch scale Foden C-type lorry. So very different to the first lorry we had through. The first lorry being little vertical boilers with the motion under the chassis. This is a much more conventional horizontal boiler with the motion above the boiler. Foden were probably one of the most successful lorry manufacturers, previous owner, in order to get it into its transportation vehicles. Named Dicky, owned by Stephen Lee from Peterborough, who is another regular Bressingham Rally attendee, amongst other shows around the area. We have a 4.5-inch scale Foden short wheelbase steam lorry. So it may look similar to the one before it, but it is actually a different model. This was actually built as a short wheelbase prototype, named as Steam Tractor. It should have water tanks on the side, but for ease of driving, it has a flat bed instead. This was built by Bill Middleditch from a Steam Traction World kit. Bill really did struggle with getting parts for this, so it took a long time to build. It has been towed around the ring in the past, unfinished. 3 years ago, now fitted with a new boiler and a full restoration by the owner, Chris Webb. This is its first season rallying, named Galaxy, and driven by our apprentice, Thomas, who is going to be probably the main user of this engine. It's nice to see the youngsters getting from a Steam Traction World kit by Ray Coles from Cambridge. Ray's done a lot of work over the years extensively modifying this to make it run as well as he can, and it does run beautifully. A regular attender at road shows, rallies and road runs, does many miles a year. Seems to have a collection of small children as passengers today, which is absolutely fine. So yeah, since 2019, Ray has been a regular sight on the rally field with this engine. All scenic showman's engine in 4-inch scale. This is again a Steam Traction World kit, but it was built and based very closely on X-Mare, which is a full-size preserved showman's engine. These fabulous engines were used in fairgrounds to power fairground rides, etc., as well as towing the rides onto the fair on the road. It obviously powered them for the weekend. So they're always immaculate, always highly polished. And as I say, X-Mare, the full-size version, can be seen at rallies. This one was finished in 2020, built by Keith Turner. This is a 6-inch scale, which is half full size, model of a Fowler Tiger tractor. This was built by Edward George from Linton in Cambridge. Edward George has been building half-size engines for a while and actually built one of the first in the area, which was such an impressive sight when it was finished, because in the old days these were well, they're still ginormous, but models were not usually as big as this. Okay, next up we have a Burrell DCC road locomotive steam models. So this isn't from a Steam Traction World kit like the other two we've seen. This is actually from casting. So the owner would have had to have machined all this up himself. A lot more work involved, but makes a fabulous machine. Again, always nice to see Burrells. They're a popular pretty engine in full size, and being a local engine as well, always nice to have them here. Owned by Ian and Chris Clipson from Market Harbour in Leicestershire. A little bit further travelled that one to be with us, which is always appreciated. It's not easy moving these engines along. Number 7. This is a 4.5-inch scale Foden steam lorry. Long wheelbase, named Runs Well, owned by Dave Etheridge. Dave bought this model but spent many hours perfecting it to make it run as well as it does. It's demonstrating a little bit of heavy haulage at the moment. Following Dave is his partner in crime, Roger Venny, on his Foden C-type steam lorry in 6-inch scale in half size. So you can see the difference there between this was built from a steam traction wheel kit, in fact one of the first kits ever produced by the current owner. It can travel at 15 miles an hour on the road, it's fully road registered, and it does so on a very regular basis. Okay, number 13, we're back on track. It's absolutely beautifully turned out. It's a John Rex drawings. John Rex is the gentleman involved in designing this model in the first place. Completed last year. The barrel traction engine before the kit company got involved. You can always tell by being 4.5-inch scale. Again, agriculture traction engine going to be used on the farm. Very similar to the full-size engine that it passed on the way in. This one's got rubber tyres. Okay, number 15, one of our smaller models again. Now this engine's got his work out, it's got two today, so he's going to run another one soon. This one is a 3-inch scale agricultural traction engine, so you can compare the difference between the 4.5-inch scale one that's just on cast and this one that's passing now. That was probably one of the oldest prototypes we have here. This is a Durham and North Yorkshire traction engine, 4-inch scale, so a very rare, a full-size engine, a very rare model. This would have been completed before we started the photograph. It's been running for many years now by Peter Swan from Grain Free Inc. So we can get a close-up look at this engine, you'll see a lot of early features. Things-type steam lorry, again the originally built from the steam traction wheel kit. Built by a friend of mine actually during COVID. I owned it for a short period after he finished with it, and it's now currently owned by David Again, we're talking about a vertical boiler with an undertype transmission and pistons, a little bit rarer, really nice steam scale, really nice engine to drive on the road. Owned by Steam Traction. This is even smaller still, a 2-inch scale, Fowler Showman's engine. This was built by the current owner over 5 years, completed in 2018, and the new boiler is built in 2026. So his last one had a new boiler in 2018, so this guy is sort of getting boilers again. So you don't see many of these in 4-inch scale. This is built the part built about 14 years ago, and it was lovingly finished, tidied over, and it's been valued ever since. Owned by Neil Reed from Leeds. Okay. Number 22, a 4-inch scale, steam traction wheel, global traction engine, towing a 4-wheel driving tractor, which is trailer, which is quite a common thing to have had on the back. Again, agricultural use with these traction engines before, often towed the traction weight. This is another rally veteran that we've seen for many years, old partner. This is a 4-inch scale Foster agricultural traction engine. So Foster were very well known for their agricultural engines, lots of well known for their engines. This was originally built by NSM, Live Steam Models, back in 1991. It was purchased by present owner Gary Edwards in 2004. Models have been going waves, and the old engines still quite a lot of agricultural engines running around. Not still in these days, so I don't know where they're all gone, but it's nice to see right there. Anyway, owned by Gary Edwards.
Hold it there a second. Let him get ahead of you.
Okay, number 24, Tiger, which is a 4-inch scale Garrett, so our second Garrett. Again, not particularly common agricultural engine to see in model form, so nice to have something here. 4-inch scale Garrett steam engine, built back in 2008 by John Hyde, Ford in Lincolnshire. He is towing very prototypically a 4-inch scale Grantham threshing drum, ongoing construction. So it's great to see this is full size. We're going around with large ones now. As I say, models take many forms. We've seen a few 2-inches so far. This is a 3-ton caster little giant called Firefly. It's actually not much more than the full size one, just the work to use engine. This is built
back in 2017, owned by Willy and Ready from Norfolk. So a nice local one. They named Firefly, it's got a face on the front which kids all love. Beautifully turned out. Just to show you how big these little miniature tractor engines can become. Oh no, he's not using it for that. He's using it for the head of the door.
It is my son.
It would be his son, George. Yeah, that's totally fair enough. It's totally allowed. 4-inch scale, runs on the foreign agricultural engine, just passing me now. Built back in 2009 and over 2023. Okay, I just think 2004, but that gets me a little bit high. But never mind, 2004 only. That's fine. Okay, Alfred Bodman single track compound engine. Now the full size Bodman engines were built down a very King's Lynn, so it's a nice motor. Standard is no full size twice steam engine, so the steam outline, a 3-scale Simpson steam wagon. This is battery powered, it's actually based on a disability scooter. There is a kit you can... Number 29. Number 29 is a 4-inch scale Coral agricultural traction engine, towing a very nice vintage tractor wagon there. Again, very appropriate. Okay, number 30, 4.5 scale motor tractor. This was built by a steam tractor built back in 2010. It was a strange steam tractor built in 2012. Engine display model of it was bought by current owner in 2025. So if you ever want to build a steam tractor well kit and went on the website, this is probably the picture you receive of the finished item. Job brilliant. Right, number 31, a real treat that shows a 4-inch scale McLaren road loco, made Magic, built back in 2006 from a double beam design. The McLaren was the largest tractor engine that we ever built in this country, so even in 40-scale Morton, it's a pretty impressive size. And this one is always immaculately presented, always shining, always good. Owned by Guy Ransom, full-size replica of a 1924 Garrett 40 steam tractor. The actual measurements and details of this one are taken from Bounty, which is actually in the Bressingham Steam Museum. It's in the main display near that army. So you can actually go and see the actual full-size engine. We have a 4-inch scale Foster double crank compound road locomotive. This was built in 2023. Again, slightly rare and normal, being a double crank compound, but it's quite so many of those. Owned by the Squirrel from up at the Fences. Quite easy to see. They have their engine capacity for a little bit further travelling than their hard run time, making up the street. So yeah, a nice photo. Following it is number 35. Full scale, Borough Road display, 35 odd models all in one place. You don't get to see that very often. Yeah, so as I say, lovely to see them all here today. I think they deserve a round of applause. So if everyone would like to give the engine a round of applause, and the owners of course. It takes a lot of work to build these, a lot of work to get them to the shows, so a lot of effort was put into it. And I think in return for that round of applause given to senior engine owners, we should reach for our whistles. Everybody reaching for their whistle calls. On the count of 3, we will return that round of applause with our own round of applause. 1, 2, 3. There's always one up. Yeah, there we go. Are we there? Yes.
got enough 35 all in one place, which doesn't happen very often. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do just that. All the way here, most of the tracks.